Ebusia finally, NDC are launching Omo Youth Manifesto no. Now after the launch no, and now Nkofo Mebrina Kasawati said there has been series of conversations. Now one conversation is standing out. Kwadwo Sheldon, we're making some allegations. Now I can say me say even for you to be able to ask some questions, you know, who be here say also much questioner. I was say ubisa. And no community no went to me alcohol no. You bet they'll be deep into this allegation. They actually say, well, does it even make sense? And I say, yeah, the one and one, any two and two, how is it sounding and how do we feel? It's answer, yeah, ne badwemba and eating komono. Yeah, Kasachre badwemba, how they win him say, no cre and yeka, and your partisan politics, ne momuno, ni adiene da, and I was here the two. It's answer penny for say, the adiene da no one fan to her. If you talk, and no Mr. Over subscribe to the channel on what I say. Aha, Dynamic TV Plus. Subscribe to the channel, no, ne like the video, no, my yen. Midi edit nana yao dynamic.
He's about to go now.
Yan shase. Abusia NDC amanyoko no launche omo campaign no. Campaign the omo launche wi it was massive. Na omo launche omo youth manifesto. What you say? That is manifesto now. Things involving youth, no, ne idea what you say. Because now no youth no any adults no. It is obia pese or ye bibi and so obia numbers now. Election week 2024. So bet me win here. A fana age youth in so. If you have much of the youth now, hands down, possible so bet me win election no. Enti obaka cheddar focus on the youth. Alan Tremantain focus on the youth. Mahama and then the NDC campaign and their main focus, primary focus, area on the youth. Now Baumi also on the youth. Now yenshe na for the yefe no munchen na yento aye kasa ne so. Enti omo elanche omo youth manifesto no. It saw couple of people celebrities omo getting involved. Talk of Kalije, well, Twitter influencer, he was there. And then SDK was also there. Couple of people, what you see. There was one artist that performing, only the boy performing at UPSC campus. Now, so we now Utumu say yes, we have come a long way, and Ghanaians are understanding. Say, look, you can be a celebrity and still now you can campaign because a show business. UPSC hono, they campaign lunch keke, a manifesto lunch after the lunch now the program has to move on. What I say, I say course bukom boxing arena and a Q&A section. I said, youth share youth ni na ubia betimi aba. Ubia any random person there. You can just walk in there in the auditorium. No kwatena say. Question and answer. Ubisa questioner. Na omampeni that John Dramani Mahama and as a flag bearer for the NDC no. Now when ya ntombo ase. Now when you question no e the amount. And that is where the problem started from. So, Kalije ebisa a very brilliant question. In fact, when I chanced on the question on that particular video, no, I was like, wow, I like this. You know, say we obia sebi wo Ghana ha na wo ye babuna. Yemfa yakoma enkodi enipa echi. And yemfa yakoma nso nkodi party echi. But you need to believe in policies. What you say? It is about time I was say you to try your kwan no edifa policies. And when I heard of the question, no, I was so keen on wanting to know the kind of answer. Mahama, so the question was very simple. Or say Ghana nankasa no. Ejuma bi eniha. And a youth no sutuani yetutu kwan. So, say nyame ya adom na say yetomana. How is he going to bridge that gap no? What you say? Aha say obia ya no etu kwan. And a hands on Ankasa, ya krum so crash down. So, how is he going to do it? And the second question was very simple. I say, politicians, no, Obia ni ho. What you say? I said, they didn't manage kokomba. Omo nyina ekrobo forma. What you say? Funtum funu de nchemfunumfu. Omo nyina e free funkro na emu no mu didi ekogu. Enti we no, omo ya ba den e no no ba say o preach against corruption. And this ne ho nkeka ho. how is he going to arrest Nkofwa? Ye dimis omunina aye friends. And it was a very simple question, but it was deep. So I was like, okay, fine. Then let me see how Mahama is going to answer these questions. And of course, he answered the question.
My name is Joshua Boydo, popularly known as Kalije. I'm a digital influencer. I'm a chef on Twitter. I cook politicians and all that. Yeah. So I have two questions. One is about the brain drain in the country. Ghana at the moment, you have a very youthful population, and most of the youth are leaving the country. They are all going to the UK and the United States, Europe, trying to find jobs because we're told that the payroll is full and there are no jobs in the country. I've seen the 24-hour economy. I've done my research, and I think it's a brilliant policy, by the way. But aside that, what other policies are being put in place to reduce the brain drain? And also the second thing is, a lot of us keep saying that all politicians are friends. So what is the assurance that if you are elected into office again, politicians and people that have been heavily involved in state capture will be prosecuted and put behind bars?
Thank you very much. And Kalije, I've heard your name. Yeah, my son Sharaf has spoken about you several times. But thank you very much for what you do. Like, you see, migration itself is not a bad thing, but it must be organized migration. And so if you look at countries like Philippines, they have organized migration. And so what they do is they give their young people skills training in hospitality, in nursing, home care, in seafaring, in so many other vocations. And they organize and export them to other countries. You know how much Philippines makes every year from organized migration? $30 billion. $30 billion a year. And so migration of professionals is not entirely a bad thing, but it must happen in an organized manner. And that's why at one point I said that people will leave anyway, but we must create the situation in which when they leave, it is organized departure. And so, for instance, if we have nurses and there's an excess of them and we cannot immediately find them employment, there are countries that are prepared to accept them on short-term work abroad contracts. And so we can sign agreements with those countries and say, look, we're going to send you this number of nurses for 2 years or 3 years. Apart from the fact that they'll go earn an income, be able to remit it back home, they also will go and add to their skills in those countries and come back even better prepared than before. And so, if you go to a country like Korea, they're taking what they call foreign workers in different aspects, even in the agricultural sector, just to go and help them to bring in the harvest, pick the apples and all that. And I remember when we were young and in school, some of our colleagues, during the long vacation, they used to japa to Europe and go and pick apples and things and earn an income, come back and continue. And so if we organize it properly, it won't be our young people walking across the Sahara Desert and losing their lives and so on and so forth. But it will be more organized. They'll go on fixed-term contracts. They'll work, come back even more experienced than they did before. So it's not entirely a bad thing, but we must work to open the opportunities for our young people in our own country. And that is why we talk about the 24-hour economy. Most of our businesses are running one shift. We go at 8, we close at 5. And so this morning, a young lady explained it very well. She says the formula is 1-3-3. And so 1-3-3 means that one person, one job, 3 people, 3 shifts. And so instead of one person working, there will be 3 people on 3 shifts. And it is possible to do. In the pharmaceutical industry, we say that there's no demand. There is demand in West Africa. When I gave our pharmaceutical industry a stimulus package to expand their production lines. Tobinco, Dan Adams, NS Chemist, all of them. They did that, and they began to export Ghanaian pharmaceutical products to Sierra Leone, to Liberia, to Burkina Faso, to Mali, and other countries. And so who says that if we give incentives and support our industries, they will not be able to increase their production? And because they had increased their production, expanded their production lines, it made them employ more people. That's just one example. There are many other areas: the construction industry, the agro-processing industry, cleaning and sanitation. Who says we shouldn't collect bola in the night? In the night, even there's less traffic. So it's even more conducive to collect bola in the night than to be mixing with traffic during the daytime. So there are many places where the 24-hour economy will produce more work. But in the digital space, we can create tens of thousands of jobs. And that is why I built the Accra Digital Center. We estimated that it will create 10,000 jobs. Unfortunately, we left office after I had commissioned it. And so it was for this government to operationalize it. Unfortunately, the space has been given to Yanum, and they are doing their own thing there. And so it's not realizing exactly the objective for which we set up the place. But like I said, we're going to put investments in fintech, $50 million to grow our entrepreneurs in the fintech space. We're going to put money into construction, the big push for transformational infrastructure, in order that contractors and construction companies can employ more young civil engineers, employ masons, carpenters, steel benders, welders, tractor operators, dump truck operators, excavator operators. And so those are all things that will stimulate the economy. But one group that we want to push, promote, and create are the agri-business people, to provide agro-processing services for our farmers so that they can buy the products of our farmers, add value to the products, sell on the local market, or export. If you go to Oti, they produce a lot of ginger. There's no ginger factory there. We must put up a ginger factory to produce ginger powder, ginger oil, and it's the private sector that is going to do it for export and local consumption. Look at this, our red hot pepper. You know the demand for it. If we encourage the farmers to grow it, and I get you Kali J, give you money, you set up a plant for producing pepper powder, pepper oil, and all that, we can sell on the local market and also export. And so I've always said that, yes, under 1D1F, some factories were built, but the thing is, factories and manufacturing do not follow political delineation. They follow source of supply of raw material. And so if you want to be successful in agro-processing, you just don't say one district, one factory. If you take cashew nuts, it is grown all across Bono and Bono East. So you must look at the whole cashew growing zone and say, look, we need 2 factories in these 2 regions to process all our cashew. If you take cassava, cassava grows here. We need this number of factories to process our cassava into cassava starch, into cassava flour for bakery, for beer manufacturing and all that. So we are going to put those factories and manufacturing processes using the private sector, not the state, to process based on staple processing zones where raw materials are available, and not sloganeering, one district, one factory, one village, one dam, $1 million consumed per year. It sounds nice to the ear. It sounds nice to the but does it really? It might sound nice. And that's why you go and find, I was going somewhere in the western region, I've forgotten where it was, and there was this building. I said, oh, wow, and I saw a sign, 1D1F, and I said, let me take a look at it. And so I made a convoy stop, and I got down. It was locked, and the gate was locked, and there was a rice processing factory. Building complete, everything complete, no equipment in it. and there was only a caretaker. They say, are they working here? I say, no work. That machine, no day. They wait to make machine come. You know? And so we must do this because we believe in it and not because we think that it will win us elections. It says politicians are friends. Yes, we have friends across the political divide. And I have many friends. I've been in politics from 1996 when I stood for my first parliamentary election. I met many colleagues in parliament. But the call to root out corruption and to punish people who have misappropriated public funds is a call from the soul of the nation. It is a call from the soul of the nation that for once we must put our foot down because the youth are crying for opportunities and the youth are losing faith in our democracy and the youth are tired of being unemployed and hungry when they can see that the public resource that belongs to all of us is being corralled and squandered by a few people. And so if we don't do that, a time will come when some things will happen. There are two things that can happen. If people lose faith in our democracy and that faith is going down, the last survey, it said it had gone from 74% to 50% of young people believe in our democracy. And so their faith in our democracy is going down. And as you continue to subject them to 000, 010, 100, 001, a time comes when they have no interest in the survival of the state or in the survival of our democracy. And in West Africa, normally what would happen is that a coup d'etat will take place. But in East Africa, civil unrest will take place, like we saw recently in Kenya. And so it is a cry from the people themselves that the political elite must get it right. This is our last chance at saving our democracy. And it cannot be business as usual. And that's why I've said that the greatest fight against corruption is not prosecuting your political opponents. It is also dealing with your own people when they indulge in the same thing. And so I've said it several times that yes, we'll hold the government that is going out accountable for the things that have happened. We'll investigate them. We have a constitution, we'll go by the rule of law, prosecutions will take place, judgment will be given. And so that will do. But while you're doing that, if your people start indulging in the same thing, you must have the courage to punish them. And that's why I've said, if people want to come into government and make money, then we can help you. You go into the private sector, we'll help you set up a cassava processing plant, go and process cassava, employ young people. Don't come and take public office. Once you take public office, you must be prepared to be held to account. And so, yes, we might be friends. Sometimes it's painful. And I have an example. Abuga Pele is my friend. The National Youth Authority, himself and others were prosecuted during my tenure. I was not happy to do it, but I mean, one has got to do what he's got to do. And so, yes, we'll pursue corrupt officials and we'll deal with them. And when we're dealing with them, if somebody does the same in our administration, that person will also be dealt with. So I've sounded a warning. Everybody who wants to be a minister, a CEO in John Mahaba's administration, if the Office of Special Prosecutor comes after you, you are on your own. I'm not a clearing agent. I will not clear you.
Let's not downplay the fact that Mahama or a communicator. What you are saying? Mahama is a very perfect and a very brilliant communicator in Kasa. In the quest to answer some of these questions, some details be on and how or de nyama bi be hihye mu ni ade no you could see say he was well prepared for such a question. Me kura de me free ho Twitter tweet no ti me free sa video na me de me kwa ena me ko hu say Kwadwo Sheldon a post video or post a post bi na on the post no ena wa try asem bi say you know what be funny about this? They invited me for the book home thing on condition that they will give me the question to ask JDM. Said it's either my personal question or nah. Be like they weren't interested in that, so I played FIFA. So Kwadwo Sheldon posted the invites now, NDC for the man no. Say it was a book home Q&A session no. Say omra, you understand? And now I say on the basis so omra no, nia omo kaka ho ne say. So beba the only basis, the only thing is that oh yabema questioner. I was say will bisa. So you can't ask any question at all. You need to be prepped on the kind of question I will say will bisa. And you know, so ono no catch no ka say no. This so no bisa the question they are fine, but then say they are nah. And almost no. Say they are. It one omo can be you know, the rest was history. Or the kobo FIFA. So what I say. Now, people are dragging Sheldon say, look, there is no way NDC as a party, you know, ebe ma invite. Now on one kasa so akire will say, come and ask this type of question. It is not possible. It is not visible. In fact, it is not something ebetimi crazy because Bernard Avle nyina or honoma, they are astute people are redeemed say they can ask brilliant and also a question ebetimi put NDC at a very at a corner. But they are there. Why would they get to you, Sheldon, and ask, say, look, ask us this question? And yes, I dare name Magrah. People are dragging Sheldon. But you see, yanya badwemba na yemie yadwemu na yendi sankomowi. NDC as a party, it is possible. Not only NDC because politics asem na ye kano. It is possible. Say obi betimi ama question say bisa. Send a ebesi ni queue so. Don't forget, say a question and answer session. And per question and answer session, no, it means you ask me a question and I give you an answer. I'm not there to let you know what I will do for you. No, I am there to answer your doubt, to clarify your doubt. Whatever thing that you feel like, no, you are holding this against me. Maybe I did this some time ago that you needed answer to. Ask me, let me clarify things for you. Let us be on the same page. So it is more or less like a safe space for everybody. So that is not where you get to say some of the things that youth they just maybe on my own, maybe you just want to talk about, you just want to hit on the side, say, look, you have something for them. But chances say obiwo audience ni mo be bisa sa question no very slim because NDC is not a new party. In any case, NDC enye new force. NDC enye afafranto. What you say? NDC enye Alan party no. NDC a party our basoda. Yehu ne handwriting. And yenyi NDC nimpom free ho no. Mahama as a person no wa basoda. Yehu ne handwriting. There were many allegations people leveled against Mahama. Nansia Airbus scandal, Mahama Babontin, wabe clarify niama. Mahama saying confirm be any baby until those things they were just a mere fallacy. They were just, you know, fictitious. They were just created and just, you know, disseminated just to make the government at the day, you know, very unpopular. It is understandable. So for you to create this space, say you are meeting people for them to ask you anything at all, no? If you don't control the kind of questions ebeba. Now here they say in general, the kind of questions are better known. One here will be point there, no? And so normal. This is politics. I see nothing wrong with NDC giving a question to Kwadwo Sheldon and say bia umisa. Neither do I see anything wrong with Kwadwo Sheldon rejecting that. In any case, a on one rights, the ope and obey. What you say? But some people are also saying, say, so if what Kwadwo Sheldon is saying, no, in any case, if it's true, then does it mean, say, Kalije mo any Bernard Avlemo, any some people like SDK mo bisa questions in no. Does it mean say omu questions no? They were premeditated questions. They were questions I their man say bisa. Say nebeya ebe si the person here kind of so for us to get the opportunity to speak what we want to speak to the youth and that is also a discussion for another day. My name is remains Dynamic and this is What's Up Today. Let me know what you think in the comment section. To me, I feel like, look, everything is possible in politics. Expect everything. But if it is true that they gave questions, well, it is normal. There is nothing wrong. And if it is true, Kwadwo Sheldon rejected it, well, there is nothing wrong with that. But as to why Kwadwo Sheldon decided to publicize it, it's also a story for another day. Let me know what you think about.
Blessings, blessings, blessings. A kinky, reggae. The love with key and core respect. 2024 and beyond. Heat. Abusian 4. Dynamic TV Plus. Subscribe. Name me a notification bell on the so. Name me a all. Send a drop level biana. Obekachi. Dynamic TV Plus. Heat.